I own a portfolio of around 12 properties here in London. Been a landlord now for 20 plus years. I started long before any of this short-term stuff kicked in. I moved over to short-term letting just over 5 years ago, purely because I saw it as a good way to generate some income for some of my properties. Since then, it's been a great move. I would say overall, I'm probably making anything from 30 to 50% extra with the short lets. I think I've learned quite a lot. You need to make sure the place is of a high spec. That's one thing I have learned, is that money needs to be invested, but you will get it back. And to be honest with you, most of the money I invested in my first few properties, I got it back within the first year, less than that actually. So basically just that summer period, got everything back. With Houst, don't really have any complaints, to be honest. I find the service very efficient. I find one of the most important things for me is dealing with people who know the business that they're in and know how to deal with issues, how to deal with problems. And with Houst, I'm happy to say that that has been the case. And the issues I have had, managed to resolve very quickly. In terms of revenue that they've generated for me this year on 3 properties so far, I have been very pleased actually, even though right now I've got 2 properties which are outside that busy summer period. We're talking October, November time, but both of those properties are still sort of generating anything from 30 to 40% on top of what they would have done. They're on long lets. And next year I will be adding on a few more properties once they become vacant, hopefully sort of during that summer period. So try and cash in a bit more. In terms of the service that's been provided to me, it is actually very, very good. I do have a dedicated account manager who I have contacted via email and via phone. So it's actually nice to have someone at the end of the phone as well, as opposed to an email, always communicating through email. So I do have that in place, and they have been very responsive. Even if my account manager is away, so on annual leave or something, there's always someone there to cover. Before I started short lettings, one of my biggest concerns is, am I going to be getting these stories that you see in the news and in the papers of people renting out Airbnb and trashing the place, having crazy parties? Now, I think one of the most important things is about how your agent manages or sort of vets potential guests. To be honest, over the last two years plus that I've been with Houst, I haven't had any issues with any problematic guests. If I did, I would know, because I actually know a lot of the neighbors who live next to these houses that I've got on short lets. But no, so far there's been no issues at all. I do actually like the fact that on quite a few occasions Houst have contacted me when a potential guest wanted to do a booking that they were a little bit concerned of, and sort of asked for my opinion. In most cases I actually said, no, you're right, I don't think these people are suitable. But it's very good that they do vet people, and if there is a question mark, they do come to me to get sort of my opinions on things as well. And that's definitely helped in us sort of so far having a quite smooth ride when it comes to having good guests and no problematic guests really. I think the platform itself, I myself am a software engineer, so I do know a little bit about web development and web interfaces. To be honest with you, I think the platform is excellent. It's very clear, it's very easy to use. All the information that I'm interested in is there. So I think whoever designed this definitely had done a lot of research as to what is it that me as a landlord would want to see, what information do I want. One example would be, I like how the pricing is broken down such that I can see exactly what costs are being deducted. And for me, my most important figure, my net figure, is always on display. There's the calendars is very good. It's nice to sort of visualize how your bookings are coming along. The invoicing pages, again, very clear, very concise, very easy for someone like me who has to do annual tax returns on so many properties. My accountant certainly appreciates me just being able to send through these invoices to him. So overall, the platform is top notch actually, and yeah, the service being provided is very, very good as well. And I'm someone who's dealt with a lot of estate agents over the last 20 years, and I think landlords who've been in this game for a long time will know finding a good estate agent is as hard as finding, if not harder than finding good tenants. It's been a very good relationship so far.